Welcome, everyone. I say that so often, but this time I mean it differently, deeply, 1,000 times over. Welcome, everyone. Really, be still my heart.
Graduate alumni are very, very important, and why having them back on campus is very, very important is that they are a crucial link for our current graduate students. During the past year, we've been conducting a review of our doctoral programs, looking at various quality measures, and you'll be glad to know that the department that you graduated from has done very well indeed.
I can say with authority that the graduate program is one of the brightest gems in the crown of the Department of Communication. That is an honest truth. We select you each. We have selected you in the past from a huge and impressive pool of international applicants. And we begin our association with you eager to meet you face to face, anxious to see the person behind the personal statement. And we do indeed get to witness the development of your ideas, your interests, and your passions. We hope that you learned from us. We know that we learned from you. The time you spent with us was relatively short, but each of you has left an imprint on us. You help us to form our collective identity, and we do indeed rejoice in your every accomplishment. And once you have gone, we keep track of you at conferences. We seek you out. We are eager to hear of your publications, the awards you've received for teaching and for outreach and for the conferences, wonderful conferences you've hosted, your tenure and promotion, the births of your children, your marriages and partnerships. We truly get much joy in hearing about you once you have left us, just as we did when you were here. We seek you out at NCA, at ICA, at SCMS, and other locations, eager to not only receive updates on your careers, but also to dance with you, to bowl with you, and to sing karaoke with you. Maybe we'll do some combination of that this weekend. And now we have the pleasure of your company right here in this room and the wisdom of your experiences for our entire weekend, and we are truly thrilled to spend this time together.
I mean, this is just fantastic to look around and see everybody that's here. I mean, this is unlike, I've been here for a long time. This is unlike any experience I've had at this university with the grad alums. Absolutely fantastic. This group of alums that you all are, we have a presence, obviously, in New England. We've got Fitchburg, we've got Bridgewater, we've got Emerson, we've got Suffolk, we've got all over New England. Go a little further south, down to the southern part of New England, we've got Manchester. Go a little further south, down that way, we've got City University of New York, Baruch, Loyola Marymount. Let's go south a little bit. We've got James Madison. Go a little further south. Let's just go down to Florida. We've got University of South Florida, University of Tampa. We have comm graduates all over the East Coast. Let's think a little bit about the South. We have the U.S. Air Force University represented. We have the University of Missouri. Let's keep going west a little bit. We've got Rocky Mountain College, University of Colorado Boulder, Southwest, New Mexico State University. Way over there in the Southwest, that place they call San Diego, we have University of San Diego. If we go north a little bit, University of San Francisco, San Francisco State, University of Washington. Think about that. Seattle to Tampa, San Diego to Boston. We have an amazing national presence through you and by you. Nicely done. You're a force in the field. I don't need to tell you that. Since these discussions have started here today, I mean, I know among you there are several who've won dissertation awards by NCA, by ICA, by other professional associations. Many of you have published books that have received awards and honors, articles, chapters, influencing the conversations in our field. That's impressive. We need to, I think, I'm mentioning this partly when we know our accomplishments, we know better what we've done, right? We can support each other, be more aware of that. Let others know of the good work that you all have done.
By rights, you should come back, see each other, Partake of what you have made. Tell us what went right. Tell us what else you needed or think the students coming up behind you will need. These are some of the reasons that we are so well suited to a gathering that takes collective stock of the past, the present, and the future of our graduate programs, and that provides a chance to narrate and to witness the dramatic and varied conditions of academic migration to and from graduate school that you as a group represent.
So that's kind of a now looking forward conversation, and another conversation could be, now looking back, what's happening in media and cultural production right now, and how did our training, your training, I guess, or the conversations that you were having here at UMass prepare you for that work? Or
I was told by many of my grad school colleagues that it would be an advantage to have production skills when I'm on the market, and I found that to be absolutely true.
But to what extent can you have sort of a critical assessment of that and a thoughtful conversation, and how does that get mediated or curated? That's something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Theory classes in communication, in the context of communication studies, but also in the context of, let's say, cinema and film, can be like oil and water. They can really not jive very well. But I'm very happy to report that in my own department, Concordia Communication Studies, around half of the courses in the undergraduate program are production courses.
And here, exactly what Lisa talked about the tension at the time, we were very guarded about, well, this is about communication.
I think in terms of relevant questions, clearly the violence piece of media effects research is still prevalent because so few people understand how this works.
What I'm taking from what you're saying is that the communication is really is maturing. I think that has a lot to do with what is happening in the world.
I came to this panel, I think, that just something I've been thinking that's been running through all the panels I've been to so far today, and that we're looking at and discussing sort of our everyday practices that we engage in through teaching and research. And I'm interested in sort of maybe taking a step back and looking at the context in which those practices are being performed.
I see a lot of work looking at that even globally, so not just in the US, but and transnationally also. So one of the things that we were looking at is how is that happening in Holyoke, but how is that connected to communities in Puerto Rico? Because the large community in Holyoke that is Latino is from Puerto Rico or is from Puerto Rican origins. And so how do you make a transnational sort of connection in terms of how have communities on the island dealt with those same kind of issues in ways that are respectful of the communities that are there, that include those voices and so forth. So that's just one.
Sure. If you run into us at a conference, it's likely that as the night goes on that we will be making arguments, very strong, passionate arguments, vivid arguments about how the University of Massachusetts Department of Communication is by far the best graduate program in communication in the United States.
There's another story. Jairus outside of her office had a coloring, a black and white thing you could color in with all sorts of people. It was kind of like, while you're waiting, here's something to do. So I found a red marker. I drew everybody on that drawing. I drew in red hair. So I call it like an ideal world kind of thing. It's great to be here. It's great to see former students, friends, former colleagues. So thank you.
For me, one of the things that is most important about this campus is Carolyn Anderson. And we were talking about you last night, Carolyn. And as graduate program director, you are the person who brought us into the fold, and so happy we're having dinner at your house tonight. It's just a really lovely memory. And
the overarching theme is depth. That's it. It has depth. And for some of us, we stewed for a little while, For a lot of us, the answers weren't easily presented. We had to scratch around for them a bit, And I think that the faculty often invited us, to figure things out instead of just telling us what we needed to know.
I wanted to say that, there are many people here from my era at UMass, 93 to 98. Anybody who I knew during that period, this is not the first time I've seen them since '98. I've seen them at conferences or weddings or baby showers or other kinds of festive occasions over the years. But the thing that moves me most about this place and this room full of people is it can be, 2 weeks, or it can be 10 years since you last saw the people in this room, and you fall back together immediately.
A moment early in my cohort's meeting, I was part of the group that came in '97, and there's a lot of us here. And I think one of the reasons why there's a lot of us here is because we were so close. And I think UMass fostered that stimulation across subdisciplinary and disciplinary boundaries. It fostered it in us, and we took it to heart.
To discover the diversity, which has a long tradition. And I think our program is poised, to sort of take advantage of that, and it can be started in many different ways on the individual level, from blogging all the way to something of a more formal nature.
What do you think in retrospect now, the interdisciplinary or intradisciplinary differences that we have in our department, how did that shape you as a scholar? And do you think you would do the work that you do now the same way, differently?
I like what happened here, and I think, frankly, it prepares the new graduates to fend for themselves once they get into new departments.
And I always through my time here was interested in making that bridge and looking toward application of research. And I was so excited when I found this organization called Active Voice.
No, I just wanted to say how wonderful this program is and how much being here changed my life. I remember about September 1st, 1993, walking into this very building downstairs and seeing a table full of young women, all in the 22 to 24 age range, and these two lovelies were among that group. But look, it's nearly 20 years later, and we're all
still communicating.
We're all still friends. So everything worked out. I not only got great lifetime friends out of this, but a husband right there. There we go.
Hi, I'm John Shields. Also, I'd like to extend my gratitude for this wonderful department reunion, and thanks to all the people who worked so hard to make it happen, and most especially to Carolyn Anderson, who helped me become the protagonist of my own life.
Beautifully put.
Yeah, so many really wonderful people who helped make this place amazing. Thank you all for running this place and for inviting us all back.
Thank you very much.
And now a human pyramid.
I do have some thoughts, of course. I think we all looked forward so much to this occasion, and it was an idea, a brilliant idea, but one that would have crashed on the rocks were it not met with such an enthusiastic response from you, and your willingness to come from so many places and give so much of your time to the cause, right? Our collective cause is really quite stirring, and it will propel us into the future for sure. I think this occasion has even exceeded my expectations, my very high expectations for what it would be. I knew we would take pleasure in each other's company. We certainly did that. Divas last night, I'm just saying. But I also, beyond that, I think we have truly learned from each other and sought out and received your wisdom in ways that I think will become tangible and palpable and continue to shape us in the years that come. In the future, I think, maybe let a few years go by and then do this again, Redux, and I'll hope to see you all again for that occasion and certainly in between. So thank you, and I can't help but also thank the committee again that did all this tremendous work to bring all this together. People on the committee, a lot of them are here. Do you want to stand up one more time? Henry, and Jairus, and Demetria, and Lisa, and Sunny, and Leda, and Claudio. Thank you so much. And then I do think it's appropriate to close with one more thank you to Lisa Henderson, who has just been a phenomenal leader for just this occasion and for our department. So thank you to you all, and good night.